In the county, we resumed support for PSA testing after a lull of about 10 years. Last year then, over 300 people were tested in Kidderminster and Pershore combined. This year, if we add also the one that has happened already in Worcester that the ambassadors ran, it's probably going to be about 500, maybe more. Question. What do GPs think about the idea of community testing? Do you welcome that in seeing that as a way of telling 200 people, out of 200 people, that about 180, 190 are okay and won't therefore bother you? Or is it the 10 that maybe you weren't expecting suddenly turn up on your doorstep because they're in the red zone? So, you know, is it welcome or are we a nuisance to you?
I'll answer that then. So I'm talking about this in my talk. So I think the problem is that it's great that that's happening, is what I say, because anything picked up early, brilliant. But the problem is the really at-risk groups are probably not attending the events. So the evidence is that if you invite, you know, in a recent study, if you invite black men to have testing, they are 20% attendance if you send the same invite to a white man. So we do need to do some very specific work, I think, in reaching certain groups that are at higher risk, because we know they don't engage with it. And I think, you know, part of my talk is sort of reaching out and being a bit more proactive with men that are at risk that may not even ask to have a PSA test. So I think we need to go a little bit further than just talking about people who are vocal. We need to be looking at, well, who's the at-risk group? So if a woman's coming in and we know that she's got BRCA2, we probably need to be talking to that woman, not just about the breast cancer and the ovarian cancer and seeing the sisters. We need to be talking about the men in the family as well, and the brothers and the sons. So that is a more proactive sort of approach in trying to target the actual at-risk groups.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't call you a nuisance at all. It's you know, it's very welcome. I mean, we have to be careful that we don't have a local screening program and we haven't got a national one, I think, because the resources don't follow it. But, you know, on the numbers you're talking, it didn't cause any problems at all this year in Pershore, and I wouldn't discourage it at all. But I think, you know, it would be great if we could do this nationally.